don't, because if they did care, there's plenty they could have done about it by now. But I wanted to start with just zooming out and talking about it. And anybody that's watching, if you want to throw in your 2 cents on the stream, we'll bring it into the show. What does competitive balance even mean in a practical sense? Are we talking about opportunity to make the postseason? Are we talking about the variation in the number of teams that play for and win championships? Do we need to look at 5-year windows, 3-year windows, 10-year windows? Like, what do you think we all mean? Because here's one of my problems with this, Matt, is I don't think people are talking about the same thing when they talk about competitive balance. I think there are multiple measures, and we all talk about different ones, and that's why nobody connects on what it all means.
Yeah, I don't put like postseason success and postseason opportunities, and I think that's the result of competitive balance. I don't think that is competitive balance, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Taking this in a direction that you're not looking to go. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, there's competitive balance in the NFL because every team in the NFL has been in the postseason in the last X number of years. That's a result of it. So for me, what competitive balance is just, it's really basic, where the table is not heavily tilted in the direction of certain teams. Now, I also don't think, like, let's say LA wasn't doing like the crazy thing they're doing right now, but they just happen to be in a bigger market, so they're going to have more resources because they happen to be in a bigger market. If it wasn't as extreme as it is, I would not be angry at that. That's just kind of part of life. Like there's advantages the Cardinals have. When the Cardinals are really rolling and fans are showing up, it's a great place for free agents to be able to go to, and it's a great place to play baseball. Like, I don't think that's a form of competitive balance. But what I do think, and this was talked about a lot on social media, when the Dodgers were going through bankruptcy, which is still crazy to think about with where they're at right now, that it was not that long ago that the Dodgers were going through bankruptcy. That Major League Baseball set up a deal where they get a higher percentage of their TV revenue than any other team in baseball. And that, what came out today, is that is in place through 2039. So the
God.
Dodgers are getting more TV money, more local TV money than any other team in baseball, all because Major League Baseball was trying to throw them a life raft when they were going through bankruptcy.
Right.
And that goes through 2039. Kevin, that is an example of not competitive balance and where something is really tilted towards one team in an unfair way.
See, because I define it more on the results, Matt, because there are many ways that we get there, right? Because, like, as an example, we talk a lot about competitive balance in baseball, and we're talking about essentially revenue balance. Who can spend what? That's kind of the conversation in baseball. Because on the field, baseball has as much parity as the NFL and the NBA, and those are salary cap leagues with full revenue sharing. The results indicate that you have just as good a chance at making the postseason if you're the Pirates as you do if you're the Cleveland Browns. And again, not every team takes advantage of it, but if you, no matter, and this is why I think it's important to define it, because in football, for example, there is no competitive balance, but it has nothing to do with payroll. It's all about what you have. If you have a Hall of Fame quarterback, you have a competitive advantage. If you have a great coach, you have a competitive advantage. So, as an example, if New England wins in Denver on Sunday, that will mark 16 straight years that New England, Kansas City, or both are in the AFC Championship game. 16 straight years, the same two franchises. It's 15 already, but it has nothing to do with payroll. So I think what's interesting is in other sports, we look at it and we think it's competitive balance because the salaries are almost the same, right? They all are within 10% of the salary cap. But it doesn't lead to any better opportunity to compete. In football, it's entirely about, do you have a quarterback? And if you have a quarterback, do you also have the quality head coach? Do you have Bill Belichick? Do you have Andy Reid? Do you have the combination of top quarterback and top coach? In baseball, it is those things, but in baseball, you can just go buy them. So I think they're important to note, because I think the problem with baseball is not that there's a lack of competitive balance. It's that people don't see it. Because look, and I'm in this group. I'm not judging anybody else, because when I look at a team that can spend 4 times as much as a quarter of the league spends, that is an inherent problem. But it still doesn't mean that you don't have chances with the extra wild cards and all that stuff. You don't have to be the Dodgers to get in and advance.
Yeah, I guess where I would push back on you a little bit, Kevin, is it's not like a birthright to get Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs had to scout him, they had to develop him, they had to do all these things. So that's part of them having. They didn't have to hire Andy Reid the last time they had a job opening. In fact, the last time they had a job opening and they hired Andy Reid, there were a lot of teams that didn't hire Andy Reid and have probably gone through 2 or 3 coaches in that time. So I have a hard time blame, and I know you're not doing this.
No, it's not a blame thing. Yeah,
I think there's a distinction. If there is something where you have an advantage because you hired the right guy, or you drafted the right guy, or you developed in a really good way, I don't think that's a competitive advantage or competitive disadvantage. I think that's being competent at your job.
No, I agree, but it still ends up the same thing for all the fans that don't have those guys. You don't have a chance. You don't have a chance.
So go be competent at your job.
Yeah.
And look, you're right about baseball. And I hate having this conversation right now because the Dodgers winning back-to-back World Series has completely
and winning
skewed.
The division for a decade and all that. Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, the baseball postseason is still the most random postseason in all of sports, and everybody who gets in basically has a puncher's chance, or at least most of the teams that get in have a puncher's chance to get hot. It's hard to say that when the Dodgers have won 2 in a row right at the same time that they're spending gobs and gobs and gobs of money.
Yeah.
All that being said,
we've seen that before, though. I mean, the Yankees did it in the 90s, and then it went away.
Yeah.
And we got back to normal.
And I suspect it's going to go away again
eventually, but the timing is bad because it's happening leading into the CBA talks where everybody's already on edge anyway.
So I could say all this and people can throw the Dodgers in my face and I can't really respond to it other than say, well, we're just kind of at a random moment of time that's going along with this. But it does feel like when the Dodgers are doing what they're doing specifically, that the table very much is slanted in their direction. I've never felt like there's a table slanted in the direction in the NFL. In the NBA, a little bit because guys want to create super teams and go to destination cities.
Yeah.
But that's players making that decision. That's not some sort of.
But to a fan in another city, does that difference even matter?
It should.
Like if you're a fan in Cleveland, you're never going to be well, I mean, in the case of LeBron, in the case of LeBron, you are, but only because it's his hometown. So
if you're a fan in New Orleans,
if you're a fan in New Orleans or Charlotte or whatever, you are at a massive disadvantage because you are not the Lakers.
And with that, you can never restrict free agents from going and signing with teams. And the NBA does things. If you re-sign your own player, you get less of a cap hit. You have an opportunity to give your players more money than other teams can give your players. That's why we see so many sign and trade type deals in the NBA. So I just differentiate between competitive disadvantage because players like to go be in LA versus competitive disadvantage saying the NBA is going to create some sort of incentive for players to go play in LA, which is not the case.
So we'll follow up on this in the next segment. Again, anybody watching, feel free to throw in your comments, questions, opinions, whatever. You can just jump in on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. So think about it during the break, man, because on the other side of it is this question. Does competitive balance really matter to the success of a league? Because as we pointed out, it doesn't exist in the NBA or the NFL. It really doesn't. I mean, you can all spend the same amount of money, but in the end, if you don't have 3-star players in the NBA, you're not winning an NBA title. And if you don't have the rock star quarterback, you might win a Super Bowl once in every 50 years. You know, I mean, we can all name the 2 or 3 teams in the history of the sport that have won a Super Bowl without an elite quarterback. Right? I mean, we can talk about Tampa and Brad Johnson. We can talk about Baltimore and Trent Dilfer. And the fact that we can name them it proves the point because literally all the rest are won by elite quarterbacks or at least Pro Bowl quarterbacks, if not Hall of Famers.
Yeah, but I mean, and I know we'll get more into this. If you're the Patriots, this is another era where you've brought in a really smart coach in Mike Vrabel, and you've drafted a really good quarterback in Drake May. It's not like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are still doing this.
Right.
So I would rather credit New England for having smart people making smart decisions.
Sure, but does it feel any better if you're the Cleveland Browns? If you're a fan of a team that knows you don't have any chance, the result's the same no matter how you get there.
No, it does feel better, Kevin, because the fans could say if these you-know-whats in our front office could get their heads out of their you-know-whats, maybe we would have a chance to do something.
All right, we'll pick that back up later on in the show. We are actually going to talk about the NFL games this weekend. Because we don't have a show tomorrow, we won't be able to do that tomorrow, so we'll do that tonight. Matt Pauley and Kevin Wheeler with you here on Rush Hour Sports.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we got more issues downtown. This time it's a stalled auto on eastbound 44 just before you get to the Mutual Veterans Bridge. Left lane's blocked, so traffic's backed up to the north leg of the arch. Westbound 44, the typical bogged down traffic between the bridges in that area as well. Westbound 70, Union out through Jennings Station is heavy. There's a little slowdown in front of the airport. 270 out to the Blanchette. West of 94 to Zumbel. Both sides of Highway K and then A to Z. Eastbound 70, Lake St. Louis into Bryan Road. They just cleared a stall to the right shoulder, so hopefully that'll get better. Southbound 170 bogs down. Delmar down to 64. It's backed up. Northbound 70 up to Airport Road slow. We had a crash on the shoulder there. Southbound 270, 364 down to Doherty Ferry. Big Bend down past Gravois. That's all slow. Westbound 64 approaching Boyle out through McCausland's jammed. It's slow to Big Bend. It's slow west of McKnight all the way to 270. Approaching Topgolf and 364 out to 70. It bunches up at a couple of spots. Eastbound 64, you got heavy traffic from Lindbergh all the way into Big Bend. 44 both ways between Grand and Hampton. The westbound side, though, remains slow in spots all the way to Elm. Southbound 55 is solid jam south of Arsenal down through Bates. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This is Rush Hour Sports on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, you're back in on Rush Hour Sports. Matt Pauley and Kevin Wheeler with you here. And again, talking competitive balance early, because this is going to be probably, this is going to be the baseball version of Runway for the 2025 Cardinals, right? Because we're going to be hearing this nonstop for the next, 8-9 months as we build up to what will probably be a lockout. I wouldn't put it at 100%, but 99.9%. The lockout will happen. And then the main question is, do you miss any games in 2027? And honestly, that's all I care about. I think that's all most fans care about. If we don't miss games, nobody's going to be worried. But it's going to be a big thing. And part of the reason I wanted to do this today, Matt, is I think it's a good jumping off point to just kind of set the definition of what we mean. Because if we're trying to replicate the results that you're getting in other sports that have caps, you're already there. But as you pointed out, and I agree with you, by the way, I don't think that's what matters. I think what matters is, well, it's not put it this way, that does matter. It's not the only thing that matters. People's opinions matter because sports are an emotional buy. Mm-hmm. So if you're not convincing your customers that the system can work for anyone, then you are turning off a large percentage of your customers. And then the question then becomes, does Major League Baseball care? Because when the big markets are good, TV ratings are big. And they seem to be, to me, wildly over-focused on what those national ratings are rather than on the overall national health of every team with their local ratings, with their attendance, with fan engagement and things like that.
Yeah, I think Rob Manfred is very much, looking at the ratings, the TV ratings. That seems to be a thing that he uses to gauge success of the league. And I mean, it's a metric. I'm not trying to be dismissive of it. It's a really good story when local TV ratings across the nation are up. It's a really good story when World Series ratings are out of this world, especially when, one of those teams last year wasn't even from our country. and the TV ratings were still crazy good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the case of, if you get LA and Chicago or LA and New York or New York and Chicago in a World Series, you're going to have good ratings because you've got two huge markets that are going to have tons of people watching. In terms of the domestic United States ratings, you only had one market like that last year, and it didn't impact the ratings in a negative kind of way. So it's okay to look at all that stuff. I would maybe this is a little conspiracy theorist, but I'll go with it. I think so poorly of the Pittsburgh Pirates and their ownership, and I would put the Colorado Rockies like in that same category. I would have put the A's in it prior to their move. I think they're trying to do a little bit more, but it's the same guy there who does things. I think those teams actually, in a roundabout way, like it when the Dodgers go spend tons of money or when the Yankees go spend tons of money, because they can play we don't have a chance card.
Oh, they play the poor us game, yeah.
They just don't do anything. They don't even try, and they could try to deflect the attention to the big market teams where, going back to what we've talked about, if you try a little bit, you can compete.
Yeah, and I think that's what, I am in agreement that there is the same opportunity to compete in baseball, because baseball is not like football or basketball. It's not dominated always by the star player on the field, right? I mean, in an NFL game, the quarterback is going to take every snap. He's the guy that's going to be making the audibles at the line, reading the defense, making the decision about where the ball is supposed to go. He's got his hand on the ball every play. In the NBA, your star player is going to touch the ball every time down the court. Every time down the court, they are going to touch the ball. Whether they shoot or not is a different thing, but they're going to be a part of the offense. And in baseball, you could be a star player and have no impact in any game.
That's why the Angels haven't won anything.
Right.
They had Mike Trout and Albert Pujols together, and they had Shohei Ohtani. I mean, it's just they've had some of the biggest stars. They've had Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Multiple times they have had the greatest baseball player walking the face of the earth on their roster, and they haven't done a darn thing.
No, but one thing that Major League Baseball is, and hockey, the NHL can be this way too, but I think baseball, being the bigger of the two sports, is the one screwing it up more. They're so terrible at reading the public. They're so terrible at understanding what fans want and what they want to see and hear from Major League Baseball. They don't. Nobody is okay. No fans are going to be looking at it and saying, well, I shouldn't say this. No fan that's outside of a top 5 or 6 revenue market is going to look at this system and say this is a just system.
No.
No, and now you can look at that in the NFL. The practicality is you don't really have a chance unless you have that Hall of Fame quarterback and that great coach. But you don't have a massive disadvantage to start when it comes to opportunity, and that does matter. It's not the main thing. It's not the only thing, but it does matter because, again, you're trying to convince people to spend money based on emotion.
Yeah, but we're putting this all on the owners, and I tend to side with players versus owners. But let me say one thing about the players here. They're like, you go listen to the union head, Tony Clark. All he's doing is praising the Dodgers and the money that they're spending.
Oh, yeah,
and, because he wants his guys to make more money.
Yep.
If we're going to be critical of the system, let's also say that the players have a little bit of culpability in this as well.
Yeah, and the thing I don't understand about it from their view is, and maybe this is just because of past behavior, but if you do level the playing field financially, not 100%, right? I'm not saying let the Pirates have the same money that the Dodgers do. That's not what I'm saying. Although that is how it is in the NBA and the NFL. That's exactly how it is. But I'm also realistic. I know it's not going to happen that way in Major League Baseball because the big markets will not do it. They will not sign off.
Small markets won't either.
Well, they would, because if you level the revenue out, if you were going to say, all right, we're giving you the revenue to have a $200 million payroll, they'll spend close to that because they'll make more money with a better, more competitive team.
That's where you and I completely disagree, Kevin. I have zero faith in those owners. I think they are going to pocket as much money as they possibly can.
Well, you have to write the terms so you can't, right? You have to write it so that you can't pocket it. Like
they're going to find a way.
Well, I know this is my point, though, is if you do this correctly, and this means 30 billionaires coming together and agreeing, all right, we the big guys, we are going to share more of our bounty with you guys because it's good for the health of the sport. We understand for the long-term health of the business, this is what we're going to do. But to do that, you guys have to agree to this. You have to spend this amount of money on your major league team because we don't want to just be giving you charity.
I really truly believe, and I know it's like a crazy concept. It makes zero sense, but I truly believe the Pirates and the Rockies of the world, even if they're literally being handed this money for them to spend, that they would do everything in their power not to spend it, and so much so that they would fight against that system where they are forced to spend the money that they are given.
Well, then nothing's going to change. Because, first of all, the big boys are not going to do what I'm saying. I mean, they're just not going to. They like their advantage. They want to keep it. They want to keep their profits and keep winning their divisions and have the advantage. Like, they want that. So, convincing them to change is going to be hard. And then on the other side of it, as you point out, if they're going to resist it, well, then nothing's ever going to change. And then the owners then pointing the finger at the union is going to fix nothing. Because the union doesn't have the ability to level the playing field between the Dodgers and the Pirates. There's nothing they can
going into a CBA year.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. All right, well, on that happy thought, let's switch over to the NFL playoffs when we come back on Rush Hour Sports.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at yourEyeDoc.com.
At 5:30, it's a clear sky and 34 degrees downtown at the Arch. This update is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Meteorologists are sounding the alarm for this weekend's winter weather. Melissa Dealey with the National Weather Service says you should prepare now for a multi-day event that'll bring a combination of winter hazards.
This precipitation is going to fall in 2 rounds, with the first round starting late Friday night into early Saturday morning and continuing into Saturday evening. And this is when we are going to see sleet falling across far southern Missouri along the Arkansas border and into the Boot Heel. That sleet across that area will transition to all snow, and the remainder of the event will be snow across the entire state. The second round of precipitation of snowfall will occur early Sunday morning and continuing through Sunday evening. Now, we have high confidence that we are going to see significant impacts to life across southern Missouri, south of I-70, but our uncertainty lies in how far north those impacts are going to extend above the I-70 corridor.
Mayor Kara Spencer is facing her first real test of an issue that helped to propel her to election victory.
Focus on making sure that we get, first and foremost, those primary, secondary, and hill routes done. That was something that didn't happen last round.
St. Louis City Mayor Kara Spencer as the city prepares for single-digit temperatures and heavy snowfall. Mayor Spencer was highly critical of the city's response last year under then-Mayor Tashara Jones, especially when it was revealed the street director at the time was unaware roadways that were supposed to be plowed had been left untouched. New Streets Director James Jackson says part of how they'll avoid repeating this mistake is new quality assurance teams that work out of the neighborhood improvement districts.
They don't really know snow, so all they know is driving conditions. And we're putting them out there. We're going to have 16 people out there that are actually going to be reporting in to us and telling us what the conditions look like to help us identify the areas that we really need to hit.
Mayor Kara Spencer is asking for patience as this will be the first time the city is plowing residential streets. They are asking residents to park in driveways if they can to avoid their cars being plowed in. Outside St. Louis City Hall, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
I'm Bob Costas, and from the Bronx, good night, everybody.
A legendary KMOX alum will be a large part of NBC's new coverage of Sunday Night Baseball.
As NBC takes over the Sunday night package of games from ESPN, KMOX pioneer Bob Costas has been tapped to serve as the broadcast studio host. It's a part-time return to NBC for Costas, who left the network in 2018, just months after being critical of the NFL and being removed from NBC's Super Bowl broadcast. That was the end of a close to a 40-year run at the Peacock Network for Costas. He now returns Jones and is expected to contribute beyond just hosting the baseball studio show. His other contributions have not yet been fully defined, but he is expected to be part of the Summer Olympics coverage from LA in 2028, but he's not expected to have a broadcast role for the upcoming Winter Olympics. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Chesterfield is getting a brand new library branch. It already has the Saks branch, but
it is too small for all of the development that's going on in Chesterfield. There's all these homes being built, so we decided that it was time to replace it with a much bigger facility that has a lot of amenities.
St. Louis County Library President and CEO Kristen Sorth says the current branch will close at the end of the month, and the new Jaffe branch will be built on that site. It'll be much larger with many amenities, including a Goshen Coffee Cafe. The new branch should be open by summer 2027. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, for tonight, some clouds, low 12. For tomorrow, clouds and sun with the high of 14 degrees, the wind chill below 0. And then for tomorrow night, the cold moves in, low of 4. For Saturday, the snow moves in, high of 14. Right now, clear sky, 34 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina, your pet, our passion. Now, a KMOX pioneer.
Before KMOX became a powerhouse for news, talk, and sports, it helped shape early American entertainment through its vibrant hillbilly music era of the 1930s, 40s, and early 50s. The national champion Hillbillies, KMOX's own homegrown group, performed morning and late night shows that connected families across the Midwest. These programs captured the culture and spirit of the heartland and helped establish KMOX as a station for every listener.
From KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, Columbia's great station in the heart of the rich Mississippi Valley, we bring you Barnyard Follies with the national champion Hillbillies.
This era laid the musical foundation for the decades that followed and remains a cherished part of KMOX's early identity. The Hillbilly Music Era, a KMOX pioneer.
Guys, if 2026 is the year that you're looking to get back into the real estate market, sell your home, buy another home, then pay attention, because the realtor that you choose really makes a big difference in this. And I'm going to tell you, the one you want to choose is Gloria Liu. I've had the chance recently to get to know Gloria. She has walked me through how her proven systems work, walked me through the written guarantees. And I'm going to tell you, this is simple, and they have the data to back it up. You get real results with Gloria Liu at Your Home Sold Realty. It's that simple. Your home sold, or she'll buy it. And Gloria makes the buying and selling part really easy because she's got more than 24,000 buyers in waiting already in a database. So for all practical purposes, your home could be already sold to one of those people. Now, if you're not in the market and you're not working with Gloria, you don't have access to them, which is why you need to call her. She and her team sell for top dollar. They boost your profits in the process. They sell fast. In fact, Gloria will sell a home just about every other day. And a lot of agents sell 4 or 5 a year. That's like a month, a little bit more than a month for Gloria in a lot of weeks. So you guys just check it out. Gloria will guarantee in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or she will pay you the difference. To find out more, to find out how it works, to get the same walk through the systems that I've gotten, just call Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. And as always, seller and Gloria must agree on price and possession date.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, westbound 70 doesn't look bad leaving the city. There's just some slow traffic. Goodfellow out through Jennings Station. Still kind of slow west of our city to the Blanchette Bridge and A to Z out in the Wentzville area. Westbound 64, that's still backed up. As you approach Kings Highway out to Clayton Skinker, it's slow through Big Bend. And then there's slow stuff from 364. It actually bunches up at a couple of spots, 364 to 70. Eastbound 64, east of Lindbergh into Big Bend's heavy. South 170 backs up at the Parkway. North 170 just a little busy. Scudder up to Airport Road. Southbound 270, right through 64 down through Manchester, but then it's backed up from Manchester to Big Bend. They just cleared a crash over to the shoulder there, so it's a little more solid than it would normally be. Eastbound 44, Kings Highway to Vanaventer, slow. Westbound 44, River to Pear out to Elms, busy. Southbound 55, a little off the pace from Gasconade through Bates, and westbound 44 past the Poplar, slow downtown. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broken, it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8. JerryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. Jerry Kelly.
This is Rush Hour Sports on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, Rush Hour Sports. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Countdown to opening day show coming up after the 6 o'clock news. Changing gears, Matt, let's do a little NFL playoffs. We'll do, let's just do the games in chronological order. The early game on Sunday will be the Patriots and the Broncos. The game is in Denver. The Patriots are 4.5-point favorites because Bo Nix is out. And Jarrett Stidham, who hasn't taken a snap in an NFL game since 2023 and has very few under his belt, even counting that, even if it were more recent, he has nothing. I am shocked that the number's only 4.5. I know they have home field. I know Denver is a really good defensive team, but so is New England. And you have a quarterback that's never played.
Yeah. I kind of go back like that number. I keep thinking about this.
And it was 5.5 before. So now it's 4.5, which means the money's coming in on Denver.
Yeah, it does. I just have to think there's a lot of confidence that Sean Payton and his coaching staff, who are really good, that's a really good coaching staff in Denver, that they are going to do everything they can and use smoke, mirrors, gum, zippers, bubble gum, like whatever, to find a way to make this offense work under Jarrett Stidham. And I don't know if it's going to work or not, but they're putting in the stakes are so high. This is a really unique situation to be playing in an AFC championship game at home with a backup quarterback who has essentially not played in the NFL.
I mean, he's played 20 games in 6 years, but they're not all as a starter. I mean, he played 3 games his first year, his rookie year when he was with New England, but he threw a total of 4 passes. So he just came into some games and blowouts and handed the ball off. Like and everything you said is true about Denver, but it's also true about Mike Vrabel in New England. Strong staff, strong defense. They've got an MVP candidate at quarterback, and I don't think this will be a blowout because I do think Denver's a good all-around team, but I'm surprised the money's moving towards Denver.
Yeah, this is one of those where I think the Broncos only win if New England kind of keeps them in the game. And that can happen. That can happen. So, I don't know. I mean, I think the Patriots are going to win it, but I don't think strongly enough of it that I would, the proverbial gun to your head. Like, I'm not making a call on this one.
Where are you going to put your money? Forget a gun. Where are you going to put your money on this one?
I wouldn't. If
really?
I was doing it. No,
I'm already on New England. I'm already in.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to get in again if that number keeps going down.
I just think there's enough of a chance that Denver surprises this week, that they put some stuff in this week and that they find some magic in a bottle, because we see that happen sometimes. So that magic in a bottle concept would really scare me for this weekend.
I'm not afraid of magic. I mean, look, they play the games for a reason, right? I mean, there's no such thing as 100% certainty. But the history of teams winning much of anything in the playoffs with backup quarterbacks is not great. And don't give me Jeff Hostetler, because the fact that you can name someone from 1988 makes the point. That there haven't been very many cases where a backup has stepped in. And again, I know the ones that existed. I know Doug Williams wasn't a starter, and I get it. I know. But most of those examples are a long time ago, and they are also the rarities, not the common outcome.
I mean, it happened before the season, not in season, but of course in St. Louis.
Yes, but that's not the same.
Warner.
Yeah, because he was the MVP of the league that year. Like he played all year at an MVP level.
I want to be very clear. I am not comparing Jarrett Stidham to Kurt Warner, and I am not comparing the two situations. But when I saw the video of Sean Payton coming back into the media room and talking about this and how, Jarrett Stidham could be a starter, like, I had flashbacks to Dick Vermeil saying, "We will rally around Kurt Warner." Like, it felt, the vibe in that moment made me think of the Kurt Warner press conference with Dick Vermeil.
Maybe if that was coming in the end of training camp and the beginning of the season, I'd buy it a little bit more.
Again,
the guy's jumping right into the cold on 1 week preparation, having not played a game in 2.5 years.
That's a good home field advantage, though. That's one of the better home field advantages in the NFL. That's a really good one in Denver.
Should be fun. I'm going to go heavy on the Patriots, and then hopefully be right.
I think you're right. I'm just not. I just think that I leave open the possibility that Denver has something up their sleeve.
All right. On the other game we'll get to in a minute. We'll do this on the other side of a short timeout. Rams and Seahawks in Seattle. To me, this one's a little harder to call for a couple of reasons. We'll see if you agree. Coming up next here on KMOX.
This is John Pertzborn with Ben and Gentry for HeatUpSt.Louis.org.
We're the Golden Boys!
For the 26th Rise and Shine benefit.
It's Friday, February 13th.
Your lucky day to volunteer.
Or buy a sausage or egg biscuit for $1.
At participating area Hardee's.
It's HeatUpSt.Louis.org to also pre-order. That's HeatUp, STLOUIS.org.
Put the biscuits down, Ben.
Oy!
We're here at Menard's Bag Sale, asking shoppers what they're putting in the bag to get 15% off.
Paint, batteries, tools, toilet paper,
extension cords, grocery items,
hardware for my cabinets, snack items, crackers, and some canned goods stuff.
Shop vac supplies, toothpaste, cereal, coffee, dog treats. I've got a lot of stuff to grab.
The list goes on, but the sale ends January 24th. Hurry in for Menard's 15% off bag sale. See store for complete details.
Save big money at Menards.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles your most trusted and #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2026. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2025. See dealer for details.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
This is Harry Carey from the beautiful new Busch Memorial Stadium.
From moment to memory.
Cardinal football on the move.
Among those voices, Bob Hamilton.
When I was in high school, I decided I wanted to go to radio.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo?
Absolutely not. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Looking for your dream home in Wentzville? Welcome to Sutton Farms by Lombardo Homes, where community and comfort come together. Enjoy resort-style living with a private clubhouse, indoor courts, a splash pad, sand volleyball, walking trails, and even a dog park. Design your own custom home in our Parkside, Nature, or Tradition series, all within the top-rated Wentzville School District. Discover the perfect blend of small-town charm and modern convenience at Sutton Farms, located off Piney Road in Wentzville. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, westbound 70 looks great leaving downtown. You only have a brief delay at Highway 61 right now. Westbound 64 is still backed up, though. Kings Highway out to Clayton-Skinker, it's slow to about Big Bend. And in St. Charles County, Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to 70, still busy. South 270 backs up from 64 down to almost Doherty Ferry. We had an earlier crash. They cleared it, but it's still bumper to bumper most of the way through there. Eastbound 64 east of Lindbergh to Big Bend's heavy. South 170 bogged down to the Parkway. North 170, 70 to Airport Road slow. Eastbound 44 Kings Highway to Grand is slow in the work zone. Westbound 44 Laclede Station to Elm still a little heavy. Southbound 55 a little bit of a backup between Gasconade and Bates. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Rush Hour Sports continues on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, a few minutes left in Rush Hour Sports. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler here. You've got the Countdown to Opening Day show after the top of the hour news. And we're down to the NFC Championship game, Matt. Rams and Seahawks. I love the matchup. I think it's compelling. They played each other earlier twice, obviously, because they're in the same division. One game was a 1-point Seattle win. The other game was a 2-point Rams win. I feel like this game is great. I think it's close. The point spread shows that because it's less than a field goal at home for a team that went 14-3. And at this moment, I'm not decided yet, but at this moment, I'm leaning Rams because when it's this close, I'm going to choose the better quarterback.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. There's no doubt that the Rams have a better quarter. That actually makes what Seattle's done this year that much more impressive.
For sure, yeah.
They've done it. And that game last week, I mean, that was completely one-sided. It was close for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, just like at a snap
San
of
Fran's
finger.
half a team, though. They're all
That
hurt.
is true. Yeah. Well, they got to get their complex away from the substation. I love this matchup too. I want Seattle to win.
I do too.
I I don't trust the quarterback. Like we're saying the exact same stuff.
No, I agree with you.
I'm impressed by Seattle. I have not believed in them all year, and they just keep like I thought San Francisco had a really solid shot of winning last week, and I was completely wrong on that. And that's a credit to Seattle. So I guess I would lean Rams with you. I hope I'm wrong. Go Seahawks.
I know, I'm with you. This is what a hard thing, especially when it comes to deciding whether or not I want to put any money on the game, because I want the Rams to lose, but I think they're going to win. Yeah. And I hate that dynamic. So I'll probably end up doing something more like on the over-under or maybe some individual things. But when I look at a matchup that's close, and look, a 12-5 team and a 14-3 team are close, especially when you look at their head-to-head. And when it's close, I go to the better quarterback. And then when I look at, Seattle lost a key player last week in Zach Charbonnet. He went down with an ACL. He's out. Now, they've got Kenneth Walker, but those two have basically split the running back duties. So that's a pretty significant loss. Charbonnet has 12 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, and with the way their offense is, you want to have both those guys.
Yeah.
You want to have somebody fresh in there at any given moment because they rely so much on their backs.
Should be a lot of fun. And again, the weather there I don't think is a big factor. It's going to be in the 40s. It doesn't look like they're counting for any rain or anything like that. And look, they won in Chicago. The Rams did. I don't think the cold is any kind of – the weather's not an issue for Matthew Stafford. He played in Detroit long enough to have played in Green Bay and Chicago and all that. I don't think that matters for him. And he's one of the best we've seen. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the last 20 years.
Two great environments, though, this weekend with Denver and Seattle hosting. That's
loud.
some good stuff. Yeah, loud, lots of fans, good fan bases. You're in a year where you don't have Kansas City, where you don't have Patrick Mahomes, where Josh Allen got knocked out before the conference championship. You can be happy for those teams and those fans.
All right, we'll see how it plays out on Sunday. Have a nice night, my friend. We will not have this show tomorrow night because of the Billikens basketball game starting at 4:30, but we do have the Countdown to Opening Day show coming up after the news with Matt and with Mike Claiborne right here on KMOX.
Hey, Happy New Year, big boy. Hey, what's up, Izzy?